Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, no matter what part of the world you are. This is for those of you who don't know me or those of you who don't recognize me. This is Mahavir Sharma, and this is my new look. I'm the current chairman of TIE Global, and it's a pleasure meeting all of you online. For the last over a month, many chapters have started doing virtual events and they have done it very successfully. And I congratulate each and every chapter, its team, its leadership, and I think keep up the good work and keep sharing your knowledge with others online so more and more people can benefit. I think while all this is being done and domain experts are speaking on various subjects, we at Global thought that we need to do something cross-sector, something that will benefit all of us, something that we all can be part of. And in this endeavor, we thought of the first thing that came to our mind was obviously anxiety management or stress management. Though we're all entrepreneurs, we're all strong people, we can all deal with various things. There are many of us who are going up the ladder or maybe are not even realizing that they're going through stress. So it's very, very critical to know, one, that you have an issue or you can improve yourselves, and secondly, how to improve that. I mean, there are multiple things to improve. Some people, it's just a matter of nutrition. Some people, it might be, some rest and sleep. For some people, it might be exercise at the right time. For some people, it might be discussing and conversation with friends and family. Whatever works for you is for you to decide. And I think that's something that you have to look inwards. But in the session today, we will be talking about all these things collectively. We have experts from all these sectors, which will help us understand how to do it, what is the right way to do it, and what the benefits are. And that's the key for you to understand what works for you. I think many a times we don't even realize that we are anxious or we are stressed or we have negativity coming out of competition that we have to face across the world. And that's the key to want to know and then to work upon it and improve ourselves as individuals. Sometimes you might be perfect, but your team needs help. So you need to realize what behavior that your family or friends or team are. And that's the whole crux or the matter that we are trying to achieve. For this program, this next 60 minutes, we have partnered with India Community Center, Silicon Valley, to come up with experts who have umpteen number of panelists on their on their board or empaneled with them. And I think they are going to discuss all this in the next hour. So just sit back and relax while these people talk about what domain expertise they have. Also, something very, very important, I'd like to thank the entire team at ICC, which has brought this offer to TIE Global. And I'm looking forward to more partnerships, not only with them, with other people in other organizations, which can benefit TIE members, TIE globally, and TIE locally. And that's what we are looking at. So sit back, relax, imbibe, absorb, and try and see what you can get out of the whole session. I wish you all the best. Please keep safe and healthy, and we'll be back soon. Thank you.
This is the first initiative of TIE Global that we are starting up this year with the partnership of ICC, and we thank everyone, all of the panelists, and I think this will be a very productive 1 hour where we will be talking about wellness and health, and this is something that we want to do more and more. I mean, we've been doing virtual events across chapters, and I think this is just the beginning of all of that. And I look forward to this session. So I'll hand over the session to Dinesh, who's, after working in the corporate world across the globe, has also now full-time gone into wellness and health, doing this as a passion. He's written a book which has his discussions with the Dalai Lama and has done very well. The book has done very well. Over to you, Dinesh.
Thank you so much, Mahavir. By the way, the book is called True Wealth and How Do We Create It? And then one meeting over there with the Dalai Lama had a major impact on my life. Sure. And one of the things which has really served me well is my focus on wellness. These are, as you all know, are uncertain times, and we must take all the preventive measures. What else can we do? We can be proactive and build strong immunity to deal with any illness or virus that may cross our paths. If we can all commit to using this time to adopt proven methods and practices to keep ourselves emotionally, physically, intellectually strong and positive, these practices will not only help us, get through this unprecedented and challenging times in human history, but also prepare us to deal with whatever may come in the future. This is a unique opportunity in that these three premier organizations with proven track records are partnering in this important endeavor: TIE, ICC, and APIO, which is a physicians organization. Entrepreneurs and professionals are generally at the higher risk. Given the nature of their work, their travel requirements, meals outside their homes, and often at irregular hours, work-related stress, insufficient regular sleep patterns. This pattern and schedule, which you all are very familiar with, repeats, and pretty soon life is being led on autopilot. Living life on autopilot cannot coexist with mindful living. The purpose of the support group is to encourage adoption of the wellness best practices. Knowing is power and learning to do is superpower. Each week, we learn wellness habits from experts and then we practice them. My passion is healing and adopting wellness practices, and I have 6 passionate people in this hour. Jesse Sheehan is a musician and a budding entrepreneur. Dr. Sachin Deshmukh is a medical doctor, now dedicated to yoga and Ayurveda. Erika Deshmukh, who will teach us conscious eating. Dr. Naras Bhat, renowned doctor, author, and sleep expert. Ranjan Sinha, founder and CEO of Digby Health. And Dr. Madan Kataria, founder of Laughter Yoga. Now, you all know, doctors tell us that physical wellness requires 4 things: to be conscious or to be present or to be mindful. And when you do mindful, when you live mindfully, you eat consciously, you laugh consciously, you just live consciously. And then, of course, the number 2, optimal sleep, 7 to 8 hours minimum. Number 3, diet. And number 4, yoga and exercises. This is the time where life has hit the pause button, and each one of us will have the opportunity to make a choice. The choice will be to continue the autopilot lifestyle or to hit reset to live a lifestyle of choice or conscious living. Our job today is to help you hit the reset button and to explore the first 2, conscious living and optimal sleep. We will start with listening to soothing music, which will help us become calm and to connect with our deeper self. We have Jesse Sheehan, who is a multi-instrumentalist, primarily plays saxophone and tabla. He spent 4 years in India, in Mumbai actually, learning classical music from Pandit Nayan Ghosh. He is a budding entrepreneur with 3D printing to create innovative musical instruments. So here is Jesse with his flute.
Thank you, Dinesh. All right, so I'm just going to start out with some classical sounds of Rag Yaman. And here we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse, for that calming and soothing music. How do we become conscious and break out of the autopilot mode? Being present, it really means to focus our awareness in the present moment with calmness, acknowledgement, acceptance of our feelings, thoughts, and body sensation. Why is it so hard, you may ask? It is because our mind is a chatterbox, you all know that, and processes over 60,000 thoughts a day. So our challenge is to take our busy mind and focus it on the present moment, or wherever we want to consciously direct our mind. It is like acknowledging the weeds in our backyard and bring our focus back on the rows. To get there, we begin by making sure we are sitting in a comfortable position. Begin noticing our body, feeling our breath, noticing when the mind begins to wander, and bring it right back to the breath. Be kind and non-judgmental to our wandering mind, which is its usual habit, and we must train it to come back to our breath. This simple process can lead us from our wandering, busy mind to the present moment. Worry and anxiety cannot coexist. With a calm and present mind, and it is the latter which improves our immunity. It is that simple. So today would be a very good time to get started on this wellness journey and to start boosting your immunity. You can start with investing even 5 minutes, and then your way up to making it a daily 20 minutes practice. To help us make this transition, here is Dr. Sachin Deshmukh, who is a medical doctor, but chose his inner calling and now practices holistic medicine that combines Ayurveda, homeopathy, yoga, and other mental practices. So here is Sachin.
Thank you, Dinesh. So let's begin. So take a deep breath and then close your eyes. So bring both the palms facing upward, but right at the junction of the upper and the lower half of our body. As Dinesh said, just think, so our human bodies, they are built to move, and our mind is built for the stillness and to hold the bliss. So now exactly opposite happens. So our bodies sit and then our minds are roaming around. So what is the tool we can use is the connection between the mind and the body is our breath. So we'll follow a simple practice using affirmation. Affirmations are using simple words to change our dynamic state. So to feel good, positive, and energetic, calm. So we are using two words for this time. So those are the two words, the positive and calm. So as we breathe in, so embody those words. So as you breathe in, so think, I am positive. And then as you breathe out, so think, I am calm. I am positive and I am calm. I am positive and then I am calm. Now once you feel established, so see, you pay attention to the breath and then see, are you breathing in the chest or breathing through the stomach? So if you are breathing into the chest, we want to bring it down all the way to the belly. You also see, do you find any correlation between your heartbeat and then your breath? So when we repeat the process and when we pause our breath, we stimulate the autonomic nervous system, causing the parasympathetic response. That means the calming effect. So a couple of ideas we will explore. So as you breathe in and you breathe out, you pause. So you breathe in and then pause. And then as you breathe out and then you pause. We'll take one more. So as you breathe in, you push the belly button out. You pause. And then as you breathe out, you suck the belly in and then pause. Now we'll do the body scan. So let's relax the toes, heels, our knees, and then the hips. Our palms, wrists, elbows, and then the shoulders. So lower back, middle back, upper back, back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head, whole of the face. Open and relax the chin, slide down. Open and relax the chest, slide down. And then go all the way transcend to the belly. And then tune into the belly breath. So you breathe in and then pause. And then you breathe out and then pause. Every time we breathe in, so we think, I am positive. As you breathe out, so think, I am calm. We'll take the whole affirmation. So in the moments of turbulence, I remain calm. I am positive. I am calm. I am strong. Let the mind just flow with the breath. So any thoughts in the mind, let them come. Let them go. Do not follow any chain of thoughts. If you still notice anywhere tension into the body, letting it go. If your mind wanders, we gently glide it back to the belly with the idea so positive and calm. Now keep your body still, eyes closed. Feel the deep silence and stillness you feel within. Any other things you notice, so any emotions come up, you gently tap them away with the positive and calm. So now when you feel ready, so take a deep breath, gently just breathe in and then breathe out. Again, take a deep breath, gently just breathe in and then breathe out. And then when you feel ready, so slowly start bringing the awareness back into the body. Again, move the toes, heels, knees and then the hips, palms, wrists, elbows and then the shoulders, back in the spine, whole of the face, chest, and go back to the breath. And then slowly just breathe in, so start moving the body. Gently rub your palms, massaging the fingers, and then bring both the palms on top of the head, so hold it. And then slowly caressing side of the face, and then to the shoulders, to the arms, to the chest, all the way in the back to the toes. Ease the body, taking a moment, catch your breath. And then again, rubbing the palms, massaging the fingers, the top of the head. So bring it to the side of the body, and then to the arms, to the chest, all the way back to the toes, relaxing the body. And we'll do a quick body toning to energize. So see, you just tap on the top, and then you tap under. You tap all the way, and then you tap under. All the way to the chest, and then in the back, and then all the way to the toes. And then one more time, so just tap, and then to the other side, all the way, and then in the back to the toes, relaxing the body. And then we'll end with the affirmation. So massaging the palms, go to the top of the head. So say loud and clear to yourself, I am positive, I am calm, and I am strong. And one in silence, so I am positive and I am calm. And then one more in silence till you reach to the toes. And then once you feel ready, so again rubbing the palms together, massaging the fingers, passing them through whole of the face, to the side of the face, to the shoulders, to the chest, all the way to the toes, and then easing the body. Gently just make eye contact to the ground, and then very gradually open your eyes. So I will pass it on to Erica or Dinesh.
Thank you, Sachin. And before we go to Erica for conscious eating, may I suggest to all the participants to get a small piece of fruit or get some nut to practice conscious eating. Erica Deshmukh, author of Eat Your Drink and Drink Your Food. She is MS, RDN, CDE, and works with South Asia Heart Center. Here is Erica.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Erica.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm so honored to be here, and I hope that even though we gave you late notice, you were able to grab something to eat. It will really help. I have an almond and a strawberry. Do you have something, Dinesh? You don't
Yes.
have anything? Okay.
I have
All
the
right.
drink.
So there's an old story that you may know about a person who was riding a horse, and the horse is galloping very, very fast. And the person is urgently going somewhere very important, seemingly. And a bystander stops and says, "Where are you going?" And the rider says, "I don't know, ask the horse." And this is very much like our habits, right? Many times with eating, we aren't in the present moment. So the practice of conscious eating is very simple. It's about just being 100% present when we eat. We walk when we walk, we eat when we eat. In my mind, it's meditation meets nourishment. And there's so many benefits. There have been a lot of research studies that link it to digestion, health, lowering blood sugars, weight management, emotional eating, binge eating. So you may be wondering, where can I learn how to do this? And I want to tell you right now, you already know how. And when can I practice? The amazing thing is, it's often so hard to find time to carve out for a meditation type practice, but we eat all the time. You can practice every single time you put something in your mouth. So remember that habit horse though. We're often very distracted, right? We have a lot of things going on in our lives. If you can't see the slides, it's two people sitting at the table and they're more involved with their texting than their food. And often, perhaps, we are present with our food, but our mind is full of so many thoughts about what we're going to do for work or something about the kids or everything that's going on. And we're again not present with the food. Which brings me to Antonio Stancic. This is a true story and always has fascinated me. He was a Yugoslavian man, and in 1943, unfortunately found himself in a hard labor camp with German Nazis. And of course, you know the conditions, and life was very rough, and he had only maybe a piece of bread or chicory coffee, potato soup if he was lucky, and he learned to chew and chew and chew and found he was getting more energy and nourishment. So the practice is very much like Gandhi said, eat your food and chew your drink. The end of the story is truly miraculous. Out of 32 prisoners, there were 3 survivors. It was Antonio Stancic and 2 friends that he taught this practice to. Everybody else perished. And so I like to leave you with that inspiration as we do this exercise. And if you have a piece of food, let me know or chat it out, because it's really helpful to know if you do. If not, I'm going to just ask you to do this virtually in your head. So what you're going to do, just like we were doing with Sachin, is go ahead and close your eyes, and if you have something in your hand, just hold it in your hand or imagine that you are. You'll do this the very next time. So close your eyes and take a nice deep breath and just center yourself and bring yourself to the present moment. And then open your eyes and go ahead and look at this object in your hand. And don't just look at it, but really look at it. What color is it? What shape is it? Does it have ridges? Is it smooth? Notice everything about it. And tune into your hunger, and even think about the journey that this little piece of food in front of you took to get into your hands. And then bring it up to your nose and go ahead and smell it. And then take a bite out of it. If you can, if it's something where you could just take one bite, or I see Dinesh has something to drink, just take a sip and don't chew, just let it swirl around. And notice if your mouth is starting to salivate, the food breaking down, and just notice what it tastes like. Be completely laser sharp focused on the process, and then begin to chew. And if your mind wanders, just come back to the present moment. What does it taste like? Is the flavor changing? Is your mouth still watering? And go ahead and don't do anything else and chew, and the time to swallow is when it becomes completely uniform. Remembering, as Gandhi said, chew your drink and drink your food. And that's the experience. It's a beautiful plate by Susan Albers that goes through the 5 concepts of mindful eating or conscious eating: awareness, savoring, observing, being in the moment, and non-judgment. I like to end just by saying it's a really light practice. A lot of times people take it on like another should, another chore. Oh, I should have eaten more mindfully. But the most beautiful thing is you can practice every single time you eat. There are so many opportunities. So I hand it back to you, Dinesh.
Thank you, Erica. And now you have seen how simple it is to do a conscious breathing, conscious eating, and conscious living. Now we have another important optimal sleep. Without sleep, the whole system does not operate. And here we have Dr. Naras Bhat, who is a professor of mind-body medicine at Saybrook and teaches at University of California at Berkeley. He is author of several books on reversing heart disease, cancer, stress, and burnout. He is a licensed practitioner and a board certified and has a sleep lab. And we also, along with Dr. Naras Bhat, we have an entrepreneur, Ranjan Sinha, who founded Digby Health and serves as a CEO. He is also a passionate person about gut biome and DNA-based precision care. He's got a master's from Wharton and he worked for Apple and IBM. And now he is a regular speaker at food tech and personalized wellness conferences. So welcome, Dr. Naras Bhat and Ranjan Sinha.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you, Dinesh.
And the topic, my topic is sleep, immunity, and previous slide, please. Sleep, immunity, and COVID-19. Your sleep and health is particularly important during these days of challenges with the COVID-19 because it is the immune system that gives you the edge or the odd against the virus. As a board certified sleep specialist and immunologist, I want to share with you 3 secret challenges an entrepreneur faces in their life. I know you guys, I mean, including me, I am an entrepreneur, and we are pros in the domains of power, possession, and money, but we do not do well in the domain of what we eat and then how we sleep. And that is why my focus is to look at primarily the 2 axes, the sleep and the gut axis, and then the gut and the lung axis. To look at the sleep and the gut axis, when you are acutely sleep deprived, then your lymphocytes, the adaptive immunity system, becomes weak even 1 day after you are sleepless. And when you're chronically sleep deprived, you must have heard of the inflammatory storm, the IL-6. It is the inflammatory storm that really defeats us when you are hit with the coronavirus. So by sleeping correctly, consolidating your sleep, you are going to have that edge against the virus. Now looking at the gut-lung axis, your gut is the master of all the mucous membrane in your body. And the master communicates with the rest of the mucous membrane, like in the upper respiratory tract, urinary tract, or in your lungs by what is called cytokines. What we specifically want to remember is a short chain fatty acid, butyric acid, acetic acid, and propionic acid. With that introduction, let's go to the next slide. That is 3 tools I want to share with you: light, fasting, and food. The light switch, the sunlight as a natural light and not exposing to blue light. Now we'll elaborate on it. And the next tool is when you eat, particularly time restricted feeding, which is called time restricted eating in animals, and that is intermittent fasting. And the third tool is what you eat, specifically focused on how you empower your gut bacteria. Thereby, it communicates with your brain for better sleep and to your immune system for empowered immune system. Tools are not enough. Have you heard the saying? When you see a nail, when you have a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail. Only that is true if you hold the hammer right. So we are going to summarize how we are going to use these tools. So next slide, please. So sleep and circadian rhythm, that is called light effect. If you expose yourself at least for 15 minutes, ideally up to 60 minutes to real sunlight outside, then it is going to program your inner part of the brain, which is the sleep center, that is called suprachiasmatic nucleus. And so you are synchronizing yourself to the circadian rhythm. Particularly important for we who work in the Silicon Valley is not to expose yourself to blue light in the evening, particularly after sunset, because that is when the dim light melatonin secretion begins. You want to avoid exposure to your screen time that emits blue light, such as your cell phone, your computer, your video game, and television. And you have, in fact, one can use the gadgets that blocks the blue light so that you can optimize your immune system by timed circadian rhythm of melatonin. And if you're a shift worker, of course, that's a different challenge. You had to bank your sleep. Next slide, please. This is the key of the learning. We have two brains. The first brain is in your head. The second brain is in your gut. And these two brains have their own clock. And you want to synchronize the circadian rhythm of your brain and circadian rhythm of your gut to optimize the microbiome in your gut. Now, as we already covered, the circadian rhythm in your brain is based on the light and darkness. And now, in the gut, it is also dependent on the time of eating and then your overall activity as well. So, intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding allows you to foster the beneficial bacteria, which is called the keystone bacteria, Faecobacterium, Akkermansia, and Bifidobacterium, and so forth, which help you to increase that short chain fatty acid. The very simple way you can eat right would be to stay away from processed food, like a processed carbohydrate, like bread, pasta, tortilla, rice, and so forth, and switch to whole grains. And the resistant starch is the key in really in fostering the beneficial bacteria. Resistant starch means the starch that is not digested in your stomach or small intestine. It goes to your large intestine, which is the fermentation chamber of your food, because the food you have eaten is eaten for the second time by the bacteria. And the resistant starch we recommend are like uncooked. I mean, really, if you have potato starch is by far the king of resistant starch. And there is a new research done, in fact, that the potato starch that is easily available in the American market and that is very inexpensive, and that one fosters the short chain fatty acid that I mentioned. If you are a rice eater, you can cook your rice and put it in the refrigerator for 7 to 10 hours, then it becomes resistant starch. Same is true for pasta and potatoes and so forth. So, in short, I have given you 3 tools. One is to use sunlight and use the artificial light in a clever way to synchronize your circadian rhythm. Second is intermittent fasting to foster your gut bacteria. And then finally, eat resistant starch that will produce the short chain fatty acid that will give you good night's sleep even on the first day itself you try. And the best time to consume it is about half an hour before your dinner. And that gives you not only good night sleep, but gives you the powerful REM sleep. And that's what we call the American dream, but you get it and claim it on the same day and by sleeping before midnight rather than burning the midnight oil. And with that note, thank you very much, Dinesh ji and everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Naras Bhat. I must personally thank you. I started doing intermittent fasting for about 4 weeks now, and I'm sleeping very well. What I do is I eat between 9 to 5. I'm eating everything, maybe a little more, but only between 9 to 5. And with that, Ranjan.
Thank you, Naras. Obesity and being overweight is probably the most misunderstood epidemic. People who are overweight or trying to deal with obesity live under the stigma that either they are lazy or they need more self-control. And if only they ate less and exercised more, that will solve the problem. This epidemic today is larger than smoking. 80% of the people who are obese or overweight suffer from at least one or more of these comorbidities. And at the top of the list is gut-related disorders, IBS, GERD, acid reflux, and which are again impacted immunity, or cardiovascular risks like hypertension or cholesterol. And then in smaller population, you deal with inflammatory skin issues, gut-related issues, and then type 2 diabetes. And the total cost, either through the individual out of pocket, the employer, or the insurer, collectively spends about $1 trillion a year. Obesity and being overweight has gone from clearly a significant health risk to now it is a serious lethal risk. And if you are obese or overweight, the chances are if you do get admitted in the ICU because of coronavirus infection, your chances of leaving the ICU healthy dramatically drops. If you look at the risk of these illnesses, obesity and the associated comorbidities, they vary significantly by ethnicity. And the reason is very simple. The underpinnings are in your genetics and your gut microbiome individuality. The best way to deal with these comorbidities and illnesses is to reduce your weight. And this is medically the most powerful method if you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, hypertension, sugar-related issues, sleep, cholesterol, chronic pain, GERD, or even PCOS. I want to share a little bit of how I got interested in personalized wellness and the inspiration behind the business. This journey started about 15 years ago. I was in my early 40s when I was diagnosed with 3 of my major arteries over 90% blocked. And I was being asked to go through an emergency triple bypass. By every measurement of medical health, I should have been in perfect health. I had an ideal BMI. I never smoked. My breakfast was 0-fat milk, oatmeal, orange juice, multigrain bread, and egg white. And so obviously, I used to run and swim. So I wanted a few second opinions, and I was surprised at the range of opinions I got, all the way from Dr. Ornish, who said he could reverse it, to some people saying put some stents in, to others really urging me to go through the triple bypass. And that's when I realized it reminded me of 10 blind, wise monks trying to define an elephant. I was convinced that they were partly everyone was right, but when it came to whole of me, I knew they were all wrong. I was fortunate to have some time on my hands, and I decided to dig into the science and literature, try to understand what's the best decision for me. I was fortunate I live about a quarter mile from Stanford, and a couple of doctor scientists took a liking to me and effectively became my tutor. After 7 months, I decided I don't need to go through a surgery. But what I realized is our body is a complex chemical factory. And what you see here is the schematic of your metabolism. And this is basically the instruction manual of that chemical factory. The air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat, and how it's broken down and then converted into whether your ability to fight a virus or create energy or basically convert into a tissue is schematically, that is the schematic of your instruction manual. What surprised me even more is, and this instruction manual is different for everyone. And what surprised me more was that there are 14 sizes of shoes, 18 sizes of clothing, but the most important thing we consume every day, food, we have been made to believe there is one size fits all. And everybody has their own version of what that magic one size fits all is. It's paleo, it's ketogenic, or you should eat coconut oil, or you should use ghee, or you should, almonds is the superfood. And nothing could be further from the truth. Because to truly understand what instruction manual works for you, or what is your instruction manual, it's important to understand what makes us different. The entire instruction manual of the chemical factory that we are is encoded in these 23 chromosome pairs. And think about that as 23 chapters of your instruction manual. And in each chapter, there are subsections or paragraphs. Those are your genes. And there are 3 billion character pairs that basically define your instruction manual. And it is almost the same for all of us, almost, because 1.3 million of those 3 billion character pairs for somebody where there is a C, for somebody else it's a T. And that's what makes somebody tall or somebody short, somebody fair, somebody dark, or that's the difference for whom almond may be a superfood, while for somebody else that may not be, that may be an inflammatory food. And that's just half the story, because we are made of about 30 trillion cells. And the other 30 trillion cells is what Naras was talking about, is there are 30 trillion gut bacteria that is in our body. And each bacteria is its own chemical factory. They have their own DNA code, and this bacteria is producing, as Naras mentioned, they eat the food or the remaining of the food of what we eat and create short chain fatty acid. They create different kinds of metabolites. 80% of the serotonin that is produced in our gut. And the range of genetic variants that you have in the bacteria far exceeds our own genetic variants, because all our cells have the same genetic code. And a healthy gut biome is like, think about like an Amazon forest. There are tall trees, short trees. Naras mentioned keystone bacteria. These are the foundational trees in your ecosystem. You can think of those. And there is good and bad animals, but they are all coexisting and balancing, creating a healthy ecosystem. Today, the gut microbiome is accepted medically as the next organ. And if you take the total weight of all the microbiome, it is about the same weight as the human brain. And they regulate a range of disease and a range of health in all of us. If you look at the current approach to dealing with obesity, weight, and the associated illnesses, they are obsolete. They are built on science that's about 50 years old. If you went and asked a physician today that's giving you guidance on weight loss and asked them what advancements in medical science or lifestyle science is incorporated in those guidance, chances are, other than some few progressive physicians, their answer would be zero. And consequently, the solutions are very, very generic. Whether you are a 48-year-old woman who is perimenopausal with hypothyroidism, or you are a 42-year-old male who has pre-diabetes and you're dealing with sleep apnea, or you're a 32-year-old woman trying to solve polycystic ovarian syndrome, the general advice would be you need to lose weight and you need to count your points, count your calories, eat less, exercise more, put some more greens. Consequently, these are highly ineffective. All of these illnesses are progressing at about 8% compounded year over year, despite of spending about $1 trillion a year. The medical science and the community today acknowledges that obesity and the related illnesses is a multifactorial disease. It's really the interaction of your genetic risk profile, your microbiome risk profile, interacting with your lifestyle risk factor. And the lifestyle risk factor may, in most cases, may not be too much food. It could be the wrong kind of food. It could be what we just talked about, lack of mindful eating. It could be stress. It could be the fact that you don't have access to the kitchen every night. You're a traveling salesperson. You're a busy executive. And we are the first company that has connected all these dots, whether it's your genetics, your gut microbiome, your traditional lifestyle markers of HDL, LDL, in many cases, medication itself, because the medication you're taking might be solving something and might be creating something else. And we use machine learning to analyze, aggregate this information. And then through the app and a care team that's trained in cognitive behavior therapy, we help you create a very personalized care pathway that starts with a nutritionist or a dietitian who specializes in your comorbidity. We have a layer of genetic counselors and scientists and pharmacists. Our care team is run by an internal medicine physician, and our chief medical officer designed obesity and allergy program for Kaiser. Based on the human studies we conducted, we delivered 2 to 3x better result than anything that exists today, digital or non-digital. And based on that, we are the first company that is a genetic microbiome-based obesity and comorbidity management platform that is covered by Blue Shield of California. So Blue Shield covers our programs for its 4 million members, and it's a fully covered program. Based on the results of about 400 patients that were Blue Shield patients, we are not only able to deliver weight reduction and reduction in hemoglobin sugar, but across the board, reduction in these comorbidities. And the process starts in a very simple way. We ship you a DNA kit, we ship you a microbiome kit, we use the app to track your weight, look at your traditional blood markers, we look at your known medical conditions and how you feel. And the software starts analyzing that. We look at your daily rhythm, which Naras was talking about. We look at when you sleep, when you wake up, how often do you eat, the time between your last meal and your first meal. And then we help you connect these dots. So the day you are sleeping well, we can tell you what meals you eat. The day you are not sleeping well, the software can tell you what meals you are eating. And eventually, we look at your genetics. We look at what foods are inflammatory to you: gluten, lactose, caffeine, salt. We look at what kinds of foods will best work for you based on in terms of protein or carbs or different kinds of fats, and your genetic predisposition to various vitamins. One of the things we notice in many of our patients is a lot of people are taking probiotics from nutraceuticals. And today, if you don't know, you have to ask 2 questions. First, do you need it? Because if you don't need those probiotics, you're not sure, you might be hurting yourself, because you're now putting bacteria in your body that your body may or may not need, and you may disturb the balance. And one of the things we look at is what Naras was talking about, the keystone bacteria, Lactobacillus akkermansia, Bifidobacterium, and Kristinella, and to really look at what levels of abundance you have and the diversity you have and your ability to produce these short chain fatty acid bacteria. And then 12 weeks later, we ship you another biome kit to see how your bacteria has shifted, so that you're not just going and spending money on these probiotics that your body may not need. Much less, the second question you have to ask is, if you buy these probiotics, and will it colonize? And the equivalence is, if you throw a seed in a garden, if you don't have the right soil or the fertilizer, those seeds are not going to grow. So again, it's important to first, and the analogy I give to people is, if you're trying to bring these 2 animals into a jungle, you need to make sure what exists in the jungle. If there are animals like elephants and rabbits and pigs, these 2 animals will survive in that jungle. That's your ecosystem. But if that is the structure of your gut microbiome, throwing in some good bacteria is not going to help colonize that. And so basically, personalization of what you eat, what kind of exercise you do, is going to become the game changer. And many of you have heard the saying that food is medicine. And I love that. But what I love even more is, know your enemy and know yourself, and you can fight 100 battles without a disaster. And personalization will be the game changer towards better health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ranjan, for sharing your insights which have been extremely useful. And you know, here we emphasize learning new best practices, and then we practice them. And to practice conscious laughter, we have Dr. Madan Kataria, who is the founder of Laughter Yoga. There are thousands, more than 20,000 clubs around the world now, and there are 20 research papers that has been written on the benefits. So, so thankful, Dr. Kataria, for joining us and help us laugh every time we meet. We either play your recording or we laugh with you. So please help us. We need some
Namaste, everybody. I'm not here to deliver a lecture on laughter, but I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to teach you something very unique. It's called laughter yoga. Now, before you laugh with me, you must understand that laughter yoga is not a comedy. This is laughing as a form of exercise. Why laughing as an exercise? Why not natural laughter? Because we found in the scientific studies that whether you laugh for real on a comedy jokes, or you laugh on purpose, you just practice laughter as an exercise. Your body doesn't know the difference between real laughter and fake laughter. You're going to get the same benefits anyway. In fact, I can show you some studies. Laughter exercises are better way to reap the benefits of laughter. Natural laughter, which courses in our real life, hardly lasts for 2 seconds, 3 seconds at a time. That will not change your physiology. That will not change your immune system. That's not going to change your blood circulation, heart rate. This is the way we can reap the benefits of laughter is only laughter yoga exercises. Now, why we need to laugh today? You know that to protect us from COVID or for any disease for that matter, we need to have our strong immune system. Immune system should be stronger, and I have several studies. What kills the immune system? Stress. And imagine how many things we have to reduce stress. How many of things which really work. Most of the methods we have to reduce stress are time consuming, expensive, and it's not easy to practice. But imagine how relaxed you feel when you laugh. But so far we didn't have any methodology to bring the benefits of laughter. So whatever we have is comedy, jokes, humor, that does not bring a sustained laughter to change your physiology. And this is where laughter yoga practice comes in and give you. And I don't have to go into detail. I will share some research papers with Dinesh. You can look at them. And also, I will share with you some of the details about how to do laughter yoga and do this laughter as an exercise. So this is not about real or fake laughter. You can laugh naturally also without any reason. And this is how I'm going to show you. So laughter yoga is basically breathing and laughter brought together. Laughter itself is like a pranayama, is like a breathing exercise. And our lungs have almost like 3 liters of residual air. And out of it, about 1,500 milliliter of air can be expelled by exhaling longer. This is what we teach in yoga, that you exhale twice the amount of air you inhale. And this is what we do in laughter yoga. Imagine, what do we do when we laugh? We are exhaling. What an easy way. I mean, if I tell you to exhale twice, it's a hard work. So what could be the easiest way to get rid of the carbon dioxide and get more oxygen is by laughing as an exercise. Now we know for sure that laughing for the sake of laughing is even better than natural laughter. I have one study from New Zealand, Auckland University, where they took a group of people laughing at humor, jokes, and comedies, and then another group of people doing laughter exercises. Guess what? Which was better? And they were measuring heart rate variability. And HRV is a great measure of your balance between sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. So this is where I'm so proud that laughter yoga is now present in 110 countries, more than 30 research papers, and that's no laughing matter. Now, are you ready to laugh with me? I'm not going to give you a lecture now. Lecture is over, but it's time to laugh. So first exercise is breathe and laugh. So put your hands out, everybody. Now please do it with me. No, you're not just watching. Put your hands out and take a long deep breath in. Hold your breath, hold it, and laugh it out. This is laughter yoga, not a rocket science. Breathe and laugh. Take a long deep breath in. Hold your breath, hold it, and laugh it out. Here, you may feel a bit awkward if you're not a seasoned laughter yogi, but just do it for the sake of, and you'll know how you feel. Once more, take a long deep breath. Hold your breath and laugh it out. This is what we teach in laughter yoga, to laugh a bit longer than you normally laugh. And this is where you get all that oxygen going to your body and brain. Second is belly laughter. Laughter is the one which not coming from your throat, from your chest. It has to be a hearty laughter. Now imagine if I tell you jokes, humor, comedies, how much you laugh. It's not going to be hearty laughter. And as Dr. Naras said, even Ranjan told us that we have two brains, one in the head, one in your tummy. So laughter is like a magic fingers which goes into your abs. And it's like an internal massage. So put your hand on your belly and just do this exercise with me. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ho, 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 ha, ha, ho, ho, ha, ha, ho, ho, ha, ha, ho, ho, ha, ha. So this little bit of warming up exercise, ho, ho, ha, ha, then it's all art. I was a very serious physician and I wasn't laughing like this before. So if a serious physician can learn to laugh, everybody can learn. We have now almost like 3.5 million followers of laughter yoga worldwide. So it's very easy to learn. So what I was saying, when you laugh heartily from the belly, it activates your all lymphocytes, your immune system. It gives a massage to all your internal organs, to your liver, kidneys, spleens, like in pranayama, when you do the diaphragmatic breathing, it will activate your parasympathetic. Dr. Sachin must have told you already that how important your parasympathetic belly breathing and diaphragmatic breathing is. Okay. And other thing which I want to share with you, that more serotonin comes from your gut than your brain. 300 million people suffer from depression around the world. And you know that cure for depression? Nothing. Drugs don't work. You keep on taking rest of your life. And I can tell you thousands of people who came to laughter yoga, they quit medication. Now it's for I don't want you to get into medication. If you laugh, you will not get depressed. So laughter practice has to be, even if it is 1 or 2 minutes to start with, and build about 10-15 minutes of laughter practice every day. There is no better exercise than laughter. You don't have to go to track. You don't have to wear special shoes. You can do it. So first exercise I want to teach you, which you will do on your own, is called fake it until you make it. So please pretend laughing with me for half a minute. Everybody. Come on, everybody. So simple. Just laugh. Again,
Thank you
we
so much, Dr. Kataria, for getting us
just
to
have to
laugh.
wind up. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll have to wind up. Okay. So friends, I've just released my book, Laughter Yoga, Daily Practice for Health and Happiness from Penguin Random House. I'm going to put you a link on your chat box. Just have a look. This book is worth millions. And please visit my website. These days of COVID, you can laugh every half an hour online on Zoom and Skype. There are online laughter clubs, Zoom laughter clubs. And last, I will recommend that today, before you sleep or have your dinner or lunch, it's called dining table laughter. So please practice with your family. Challenge them for 1 minute laughter. So ask them to laugh for no reason for 1 minute and see what happens. So thank you very much, Dinesh. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks again, Madan, and we look forward to seeing you every Saturday. Either if you can join us or we play your tape, one of the two. Hopefully you'll join us every Saturday. So now we are reaching the end of our session, but there are a couple of very important things. Number one, are there any questions? Raise your hand if there are any questions, or you can put them in the chat where we can have this panel answer your questions. We hope that you have learned something new today. And more important, we hope that you are going to practice it. And we hope this becomes a regular practice with you. And I want to now, as we are getting questions, I want to introduce our beloved, our wonderful friend, and this organization's co-founder, Naren Bakshi, who co-founded this with Dr. Pankaj Vij and Som Chatterjee. Naren Bakshi, of course, is well known to all of us. He is a very successful entrepreneur and, as importantly, a pillar of the Indo-American community, having shared his time, wisdom, and financial resources to help build cornerstone organizations such as India Community Center. However, his contribution to our success is very important for another reason. Having led the stressful and demanding life of an entrepreneur and having gone through the negative impact on his own health, he wants to make sure that people learn from his mistake and detrimental impact on his own health. His story has a happy ending in that he was able to correct the course in time with a very positive outcome on his health and has become what we refer to as a health hero. He is 76 years old and delayed in Jaipur due to Corona lockdown, but that does not hamper his commitment, his dedication, his enthusiasm. So I welcome Naren. And are there any questions for our panelists?
So, Dinesh, thank you very much. I just have 3 things to say. First is, I must use this opportunity to thank all the panelists. I know all of you very deeply for a long time. The context is, of course, Dinesh and Annie, I've known you from ICC, Thai, all kinds of places for 20 years. Sachin and Erika have been working with me and my family and have helped us for a long time, so we know firsthand how good they are. The 2 people here, Dr. Naras Bhat has been my physician when I had all these problems, which got corrected. So to have then Ranjan here, who considers me to be his mentor. In 1990s, he was building a company in Silicon Valley on tech. And to see him now move into health tech is very delightful. The next person, of course, you just laughed with is Dr. Madan Kataria. He is somebody that knew my father. In fact, they started a laughing club here in Jaipur 20 some years ago. So I've known him and I used to laugh with my father. And Mahavir, of course, is the reason why this session is happening. Mahavir is somebody that I've known since 2003, when I worked with him and 7 other people to co-found Thai Rajasthan. And when I was the global chair for Thai chapters, where I served for 5 years, but to see him himself grow to the level he is so delightful. He is the first person ever to be appointed by Global Board of Trustees as the chairperson from India. So my congratulations one more time. And now the important thing is he's decided to work with us to take this message to the place where I really deeply wanted. So let me tell you just second point, since I thank everybody, of course, my co-founders and ICC, Dr. Vich, who is not here, Som, but my vision is that in next 3 to 5 years, we will be able to impact millions of South Asians around the globe, especially to help them avoid the problems that I had. I had all the things that Ranjan said about obesity, diabetes, hypertension, on and on. I am completely corrected. That's why they call me Health Hero. The important thing then is, how do we impact? Well, we are going to impact through all these doctors that are helping us, but then I also want to help entrepreneurs and then seek their help and their technological wisdom to scale up this. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. The only call for action for the participants is that please join these sessions and include your friends and families. Promote this so that we can impact. Today was the first trial session, but it should continue every week. And I have spoken with Mahavir, and we have agreed that our next session will be May 3rd, 7:30 a.m. IST. And hopefully, with your feedback, we will make these sessions week after week over a period of time to impact not just entrepreneurs, but through them, because in Thai, we think of entrepreneurs in two ways. Some people who are becoming entrepreneurs, some people who are giving back as entrepreneurs, mentors. So they can be a tremendous force for us to be the role models. So that's the three things in summary. Thanks to everybody. Agree on my vision and work with me. I will be deeply thankful to you. And the final thing is, call us back with your feedback and also give us an ability to scale it up. Thank you, Mahavir. I would love to say whatever you would like to say to end this session.
Sure, there's just one question from Sudhakaran Nair. What's the relationship or what's the balance between gut health and mental health? Anyone wants to answer that? Is there a balance between the two healths?
Yes, I'll answer that. I didn't have a chance to cover it here. Mental health is based on the dopamine, serotonin, these are the pleasure chemicals, and also sleep, which is GABA. And the production center or the factory for these chemicals happens to be in your gut. And the gut microbiome, and then the fatty acids, short chain fatty acids, these are the key factors in making it. It's called GALT, gut-associated lymphocytes, and also these gut bacteria that produce these cytokines or messengers that bring you pleasure. Additionally, depression was previously considered as a social disease. Now, endogenously or internally, it is a gut bacterial issue. And because of the antidepressant we produce ourselves in our gut.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhat. Is there any other question?
No, I think basically, Dinesh, we should call it a day because we've just scratched the surface today, and that's why we need to have follow-on sessions and go deeper into each sector. And based upon the responses that we get at TIE or you at ICC, I think we should take everything, every panelist to a deeper conversation and understand that better and probably cover a larger area. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.